Is this thing on? It's on. All right. So Monique Samuels and Chris Samuels. Everybody has been talking about um, the news that broke the other day, which is Monique filed for divorce. Um, so this is the thing. I was gonna go live, and then I changed my mind. I was gonna go live yesterday, and then I changed my mind because I had some stuff I needed to do, and I didn't want to be like rushing and stuff. And then I was like, I'm gonna go live today, and then I changed my mind again because at this I was kind of like over it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I really don't want to go live and talk about this because I don't think it's. I just didn't feel like going live to talk about Monique and Chris. That's what it comes down to. And then I also had some more stuff I needed to do. But last night I decided to go back and just listen to some of what she had to say. Remember when the news first broke? I think I think it was People Magazine who said that Chris and Monique had separated. I think the very next day, Monique, came out with a live. So this is a problem. Those of us who paid attention, and I'm not talking about those of us who just came in an episode or two before the infamous fight happened in season 5 of Potomac. Those of us who actually watched, paid attention, we know that Monique did lie. And we know that Monique did a whole bunch of, trying to get ahead of the story. Um, you know, she just did a lot. And a lot of people, like most people who watched the show, or claim that they watched the show, they were on Monique's side. And so Monique won. She won the battle and the war. But those of us who paid attention, we knew that Monique was lying, and we knew what Monique was doing. So I think that now some of those same people are just like, "Oh, girl, here she go lying," you know. So what happened, in my opinion, was the People magazine came out with what they had to say. Then Monique came out and tried to get ahead of, I guess whatever else, whatever information they, probably had. That's what she likes to do. Monique is a control freak. Okay? Now, I think we all probably have some control tendencies, right? But I think that for Monique, it is one of the things I think that ruined her marriage. Now, I'm not saying that the demise of her marriage it solely lays on Monique's shoulders. That's not what I'm saying. But you know how in some situations you could be like, oh girl, like when I think about Martell and Melody from Love and Marriage Huntsville, I think that most of their marriage, the reason why their marriage ended, most of the blame definitely lays at the feet, on the shoulders, on the back, okay, on his ankles. It's Martell's fault. But I think in this situation, I could see where Monique probably contributed to the end of their marriage. But Monique has control issues, so she tried to come out. She's also called herself like a perfect Patty, right? So she tried to get ahead of the story. Believe it or not, I know some of y'all not gonna believe what I'm about to say. Monique didn't lie this time. If you go and listen to what Monique said, Monique was bothered that People magazine had put out that they were separating, when the truth was they were going through things in their marriage. They were trying to use every resource, every tool, everything that they could think of, or I guess through therapy was recommended, to try and save their marriage. So part of them trying to save their marriage, and I guess also part of their storyline for the upcoming season of Love and Marriage DC was we're going to start at the basics. We're going to go live in separate homes. We have, they have 4 homes. I have 4 homes. We're going to live in separate homes every other day or every other week, right? Go back to us being friends. And then if, it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out, then we're just going to get a divorce. Monique really did say that, y'all. She really did. Um, what it was, Monique was saying that we have not said anything about us getting a divorce. We have not said anything about us separating. We have not said anything about us legally separating. At the time, I do believe that's what Monique was saying. And at the time, I don't believe that they were legally separated. I think that they were trying to exhaust every resource, every idea, everything that they had to try and save their marriage. So I think that's where the frustration came in with Monique probably, is because someone is telling you that we're separated and now it's on the blogs and it's like, girl, we're not even separated. Yes, and she did say this, yes, we're having issues, yes, we're having problems, but we're not at that point yet. And if we get to that point, we'll tell y'all. She said this, y'all. She did. She really did. She really did. So I don't think that Monique was lying. I don't. I think that what happened again was people heard that they were separated and they ran the article. Monique came out and said, we're not separated the way that y'all think that we're separated. We're basically just trying to get back to like on some boyfriend, girlfriend stuff, right? You live by yourself, I live by myself, but we really can't do as much as we want to because we actually have a family and kids. So we're trying to get back down to like the boyfriend and girlfriend. We have 4 homes, you stay over here for a week, get yourself together, be the best version of yourself, then I'll go stay somewhere for a week, get myself together, be the best version of myself. I don't know how long the process was, right? And then we're going to try and make this marriage work. So if I'm the best Monique I can be, you're the best Chris you can be, then I could be a better husband, a better wife, a better mother, and then it could probably work out. If not, then we're just going to have to pull the plug on it and go our separate ways. And I think that's literally what happened. I do. I do. I think anybody who watched Love and Marriage DC, I watched the show, I reviewed the show. I don't think I wasn't surprised when I saw the news hit yesterday. I didn't like clutch my pearls. I didn't, gasp for air. I didn't roll out of my bed. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I knew it was eventually coming. I think the difference between like a Monique and a Drew is Monique was honest about her situation with her husband. What we saw on Love and Marriage DC, Monique, that wasn't acting, right? Monique was honest. Drew, on the other hand, I'm just giving you an example. Drew is being dishonest because Drew had the nerve to say out of her mouth at the beginning of this season that this is the happiest that we've been. And then 3 or 4 months later, girl, y'all getting a divorce. See, that's a lie. Monique been telling us, girl, we've been having issues. These are my problems. These are the issues at least I'm having in the marriage, right? Like, girl, I'm tired. I'm almost over it. That's how she came to us in Love and Marriage DC. And girl, for those who don't remember I told y'all, tell the people, I said that if Monique goes to Love and Marriage DC, first Carlos is messy. He is about to show. I can't say that he's messy, but he's about to show. He's like a Mona Scott Young. Girl, this is business, right? You going over there thinking that Carlos is gonna protect you? Whatever footages you got, oh, he gonna roll it. Okay? I thought that her going to Love and Marriage DC, I said, girl, your marriage better be together because on Love and Marriage DC, they focus on the marriages. At least on Real Housewives of Potomac, it's more so, in my opinion, focused on the friendships. The friend circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, of course, if you got a messy ass marriage like Kenya and Mark, then they're gonna show it, right? But if you ain't got nothing going on in your marriage, they not. It's kind of like, okay, girl, whatever. We don't even. Girl, what you got going on? And then a lot of the women don't even have spouses. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's more so about like the friend group. Where on Love and Marriage, everybody is married, or at least they were at one point, like Melody and Martell. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, girl. So she took her ass over there to DC, and now she getting a divorce. That's funny. In all seriousness, I know y'all don't hear me say this a lot, but it is sad when it's sad to me when people get divorces and there are kids involved. That's the sad part. If it's just, I'm sorry, I know not to sound insensitive or mean. If it's just two grown people who ain't got no kids, girl, you'll be all right and you'll be all right. Y'all grown, girl, go your separate way. But it does take it to a whole nother level when there are kids involved. So I hope that the kids are okay. Because if divorce gets nasty, honey, you know. Um, but I do think Monique, being who she is, which is a little bit of a liar. This time she was telling the truth. Being a control freak. Um, I think that was a big part that played in the end of her marriage. Because even with Chris, no, Chris is not on my list. He might be on yours, he's not on mine. This is what I think when I think of Chris. And I used to say this on Potomac Reviews. Chris is old school. Chris is archaic. He is very much, I bring home the bread, the butter, whatever. You take care of the kids. I'll bounce him on my knee for a couple of minutes. Then I don't want to be bothered. I want a beer and I want to watch football. Chris and I already told us out of his mouth. If the light bill is paid, if clothes are on your back, and ain't nobody dropping off no babies, then what's the problem? He doesn't really look. He didn't. I don't think he really looked at it through a lens of there's more. Like you have to contribute to your marriage, your relationship with your kids, mentally, emotionally, right? A lot of these niggas, they just think that, girl, if I throw you a couple of dollars, right, then what you complaining for? And Chris already told us that Monique has access to the money. Remember, girl? Remember? When she was cutting up, is it about to rain? When she was cutting up about not for lazy moms is Monique. If you ever see this video, not for lazy moms is the dumbest name you could have ever came up with your business. That's why you're over there. That's part of the reason why your silly ass is stressed out. No tea, no shade, girl. Because the truth of the matter is, no matter how you slice it and dice it, you could never really get help. And if you did get help, people will judge you. So let me give you an example. She has a company called Not for Lazy Moms. She can never get a nanny because your company is called Not for Lazy Moms. How dare you? You could never really get any type of help because whatever, because I think Monique is very much into like oils and like, not really like medicine, like let me just rub your temple with some oil and your head gonna stop hurting. She gives very, very much that, I believe, right? So the point I'm trying to make is even if you wanted to go down that route, someone could say, well, Heifer, the reason why you're able to start your own company and call it Not for Lazy Moms is because you have a chef, because you have a maid, you have a butler. Like you out here, like the Not for Lazy Moms. I just don't think it was a good name because anyone could flip that, and then when you out here talking about I got 4 homes and my husband's portfolio, it's kind of like, girl. So now you over there working yourself to the bone, girl, mad at Chris because you find help for him every time you go out of town. I know I'm going on a whole rant. You'll find help for Chris, but not hire help for yourself. Chris say, you got access to the money. Shit, hire some help. So what the fuck you complaining to me for? That's pretty much what he said. Anyways, child, but I think that I don't think that Chris was innocent. I think that Monique got a bad rap after the first season of Love and Marriage DC because the truth of the matter is all you really did see was Monique complain, bitch, 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 complain, and bitch some more. That's all you really saw. And you never really saw Chris. You saw Chris. Chris came across as the husband who was trying. I do believe this. I do believe that Chris was trying. I believe that Chris is a man of a certain who behaves a certain way, but I believe he was trying to step outside of himself to try and do what he felt like he needed to do in order to save his marriage. I do believe that. I just think by the time they got to Love and Marriage DC, Monique was already 1 foot out the door. She was doing, do I jump in? Do I jump out? Do I stay in? It was very much, that's Monique, right? And Chris is like, I'm trying, but Monique is like, I'm over it. I also said I don't think it's fair for people to act like Monique being in her 20s, meeting Chris, because she married for stability. She married for the money. Yes, she did, and we're not mad at it. I tell all y'all to do the same thing. I don't think it's fair to sit here and say, well, you knew who he was when you married him. Yes, she probably did. But what happens is after you've got 4 houses, after you have the cars, after the Bentleys, the Rolls Royces, the Hermes bags, the Chanel bags, it's kind of like, okay, girl, I got the houses, I got the kids, I got the cars, and this nigga, you just here. And I think that's where Monique started to be at in her marriage. And Chris was okay because in Chris's head, he felt like he was doing everything that a man was supposed to do, which was make sure that the lights stayed on, the kids were clothed and fed, and ain't nobody dropping off no babies. So basically, bitch, what are you complaining about? I got you this big house. You got 3 more. You got a Rolls Royce outside or a Bentley, whatever car she had on Love and Marriage GC. You got access to the money. What are you complaining for? And Monique was on some whole, I need some emotional connection. It's more, you're not giving me what I need. And I think that by the time Chris really kind of started trying to, I guess, figure it out, Monique was over it. I still think Chris is one. I think whoever gets with Chris next, you're going to deal with the same thing. Very much so. I'll play with the kids every now and again. Other than that, but I don't think he's no Mark Daly. You know that I don't think he know Mark Daly. I don't think he know Ralph. Okay? I think he's one of the better ones, but he still got his ways though. But I could see I'm gonna leave it alone. So yeah, that's really all I have to say. Um Hopefully Monique, girl, now the people saying that, girl, can we be messy? Girl, I was trying not to be messy. Because I really didn't want to, can we be messy? Because the people saying Monique, girl, I don't know nothing about no law. But the people saying that, girl, you waited until after that 10-year mark. Because I guess in Maryland, honey, that's when you can start, you can start, girl, going for a money grab. So I don't know, Monique. Girl, if you did it, I'm not mad at you. I mean, you were bragging about his portfolio the other day. So, and I know you ain't making that much. You ain't making that much money from Not for Lazy Moms. So yeah, that's all I have to say. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.